She waved her tablet at him, and then pressed a button so the screen came to life. George looked down at it, but he was still seeing fish-shaped blue clouds in front of his eyes, so it took him a few moments to focus his vision. Compared to the marvels of the reef, it looked very dull. "You made me come out of VR to read a form," he protested. "Like you fill in to get a rail card." "No, silly," persisted Annie. "You didn't look properly." George looked again. "Oh," he said, realization dawning like the sunrise on a planet with two suns in the sky. "See?" said Annie. "What does it say?" "Astronauts wanted," he read. "Astronauts wanted," he repeated. "That's so cool." He carried on reading out loud. "Do you have what it takes to leave Earth behind and travel further than any human being has gone before? Could you start a human habitation on the Red Planet? Could you save the future of the human race by helping it to spread out into space and colonize a whole new planet? Do you have the skills to take us into a new era of manned space travel?" George rattled off quickly. "If so, apply here." "Hang on," he said suspiciously. "If they want astronauts, don't you think they mean grown-up ones?" "No," said Annie triumphantly. "This is for junior astronauts. It says so, between the ages of 11 and 15. "A bit weird, isn't it?" asked George. "Why would you send a bunch of kids to Mars?" "Duh," replied Annie. "Any mission to Mars won't be ready for years. By the time it lifts off, we won't be kids anymore. But they must want to start the training now, so they've got lots of time to pick the best candidates. Can you fill them out?" She handed him the tablet. "Them," said George. "One for you, one for me," said Annie. "Why am I—" he started to ask. "You can't change what you've typed," said Annie, who was getting more confident now about admitting she was dyslexic. "And there's no autocorrect. The form goes automatically as soon as you've typed it, so it'd be way better if you did it." "Will spelling really matter on Mars?" questioned George. "There are far more important things for travelling in space. You know that." "No," said Annie firmly, "it won't, but I might not get there if I call the planet Rams by mistake." "This form is quite long," said George, scrolling down. "Of course it is," scoffed Annie. "You don't think they're going to let just anyone fly to Mars?" "Or Rams," added George with a cheeky grin. "Yes, Rams, the new home of the human race," cried Annie. "Right, come on. What's the first thing?" Explain in your own words why you would be a great candidate to join a trial program for junior astronaut training in preparation for a Mars mission in 2025. "Easy!" cried Annie. "I've got a very high IQ. I'm excellent at problem solving. I have lots of experience of travelling in space." "Can we put that?" interrupted George. While it was definitely true that he and Annie had travelled in space before, no one was supposed to know about their out-of-this-universe adventures. "When does training start?" he asked. "Hang on. It starts really soon. How are we going to get places on this? Haven't they chosen people already?" "Hey, chill out. It says that a few places have come vacant," said Annie. "I can't believe we missed the advert the first time. And it's time to start at the beginning of the school holidays." "That's in a few days' time," said George. At that moment, the screen pinged with an incoming message. "Don't read that!" Annie cried out. Glancing up in surprise, finger frozen above the tablet, George saw that Annie had turned white. "Come on, I wouldn't read your text messages," he said. "Well, don't," said Annie. "Just don't. Go back to astronauts wanted." But the screen pinged again, and again, and again, until there was a whole list of incoming unread messages, all from the same number. "Right, Mars," said Annie defiantly, brushing her long fringe out of her eyes, clearly determined to ignore the messages which were piling up by the minute. "Let's leave this planet behind. I don't want to stay here with the horrible people." "What horrible people?" said George slowly. "Annie, what's going on?" "Nothing," said Annie. "Why has something always got to be going on? No thing is going on, except me, leaving Earth forever to become a space superhero so I can look down on those earthy worm idiots." Silently, George swiped one of the messages at random. "You are stupid and evil and no one likes you." "Yuck!" he exclaimed, recoiling from the screen. "That's nasty. I'm going to write back."